Hello, hello, hello. This is week 2, and today we are talking about trust, scarcity, and teaching what you know. All right? If you have any questions, please put them in the comments or save them for after this video. I will get back to everybody. I'm trying to be a little quiet. I have my 18-month-old taking a nap and my husband taking a nap right behind me. So I'm going to be a little quiet. Hopefully you can hear me really well. So welcome back. We had week 1 last week, and that was all about from zero to viral and how to start as a content creator. If you missed that, that's on my YouTube or inside of this group. So, welcome back to our second live inside the Viral Female Entrepreneur. I've got lots of screens up here. So, there's lots happening. You might see me looking at this screen, and then looking at this screen. Either way, we're here. So, if you're new here, I'm really happy that you found me. And if you joined me last week, we talked about why perfection doesn't matter, but clarity does, and how getting crystal clear on what you do is the very first step in building a powerful online presence. Today, we're going to go a little deeper. We're talking about something that keeps more women stuck than anything else. Scarcity mindset, overwhelm, and trying to do too much too soon. And I'm going to show you how you already have valuable knowledge that people want, even if you haven't created a product yet. All right, so we are going to let's talk about scarcity mindset and self-sabotage. I'm going to keep this live about hopefully 30 minutes or less. I'm going to move pretty fast. If you want to take notes, go ahead. But part 1 is about the scarcity mindset, which is something I have definitely had to overcome. I'm sure you've had to overcome, and it's definitely something that I still not struggle with, but I have to remind myself, because my old self is like, it was so patterned in a certain way. Let me put some light. I have the worst eye bags right now, but it's okay, whatever. Okay. So, scarcity mindset is the belief that there is not enough. Okay? Not enough money, not enough followers, not enough time, not enough success, to go around. And if you are honest, we've all felt it, right? So let's say you scroll through social media and it feels like everyone is ahead of you. Everyone's selling something. Everyone's claiming that they're making this amount. And everyone's like already successful. And your brain starts whispering to you, then there's no room for me. It's too late. I missed my chance. But Queen, scarcity mindset is not reality. It's a protective mechanism, and it's a lie. And it's your fear that's trying to keep you small and safe. And the problem is, it starts becoming self-sabotage. So, because, when you believe that there's not enough, there's not enough. And then you start acting like it. And you post less, or you quit everything, or you second guess yourself and you stop showing up. And then that becomes, a self-fulfilling prophecy. And you're always just like, well, it just didn't work out for me. Right? But the truth is that there's so much opportunity out there. Instagram alone has over 3 billion users. People are making money in like the weirdest and most like niche ways. because they decided to show up and they continue to show up and they're consistent, right? And they share what they know. And there's room for you too, but only if you stop self-sabotaging yourself by believing that there isn't. Part 2. Let's get into part 2. Stop trying to do it all. Okay? I always have all of these really great ideas, right? And I end up having to slow myself down because I get, 1, really excited about it, but then 2, I think about all the things I have to do in order to do all these things. And then 3, that creates like tons of overwhelm in my head, and I just get overwhelmed. So I write things out and I'm like, okay, what is going to make me money the quickest? And I start with that, and I don't care if it takes me months to finish it. That's what I do, and I stick with that. Okay? I don't veer off into the shiny object syndrome like I used to. I just stick with what I know, what I want to do, and I finish it. Okay? So let's talk about overwhelm, because this one is like pretty sneaky, and we live in a time where there are a million platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and everything. And I have felt pretty exhausted before. I was working so hard and getting nowhere. And do you know what happened? I ended up spreading myself way too thin and nothing grew. Okay. When I first started, I made this mistake too. And I tried to be everywhere. I was posting on TikTok. I was putting my energy in Instagram. I felt exhausted. I was working so hard, getting nowhere. And the truth is trying to do it all will leave you high and dry. Okay? It just will. And right now, my focus is Instagram and YouTube. I have already established a Facebook page that is bringing in around $500 to $1,500 a month for me, which is amazing. So that just keeps growing now. And now my focus is Instagram and YouTube. That's where I'm putting all my energy, because I know those platforms align with how I want to grow. And with TikTok being like, well, we're going to get rid of it, we're not going to get rid of it, it's been very, I don't like that. It doesn't make me feel safe in wanting to create content on there. So I will create content from time to time, but I also don't like how they want you to post 1 million times a day. I feel like it's a little unfair to my lifestyle and other people's lifestyle right now. And it just doesn't fit in my lifestyle right now. I'm not going all in on TikTok. However, I have before, and I've made a lot of money. But it requires me to show up constantly. Whereas YouTube, I can post a video every 3 days, every week, and it's there for life. Everyone's on YouTube, and you're not going to go away. TikTok is like, what's trending right now? And that just doesn't align with me right now. It might later on, but right now it does not. So I am putting all my energy into Instagram and YouTube. I would highly suggest just starting with one. And then once you get a routine down with that, then you can add another platform. My old business got tons of sales from TikTok. It was amazing for that season. But platforms change, algorithms change, and most importantly, your strategy should evolve with you. So here's my advice. Choose 1 or 2 platforms. Like I just said, master those. Okay? For like a year. Okay? Learn the algorithm. Be yourself. You don't have to like post at certain time. Post when you want. Okay? Just get rid of all these like myths of like how you can grow, and just do exactly what you want, but show up and be consistent. Okay? Build consistency, and then, and only then, you can expand. Because when you go deep inside of wide, that's when growth happens. All right, part 3. Part 3 is, you already have something to teach. Now, I want to shift into something that I hope completely changes the way that you think. Okay? You do not need a product to start teaching. You do not need a fancy course to start showing up. And you already have knowledge that people want right now. Okay? I'm going to repeat that. You don't need a product, you don't need a fancy course, and you already have knowledge. So many women stop themselves before they even start because they say things like, oh, I don't know what I would teach. I don't have anything valuable to share. And that's just not true. I want you to think about what you're naturally good at. Okay? What do your friends come to you for advice on? And what is something that you could talk about for hours without getting bored? Okay? That is your starting point. On my mom page, I literally talk about boundary setting and how I got my dream life, because people have asked me time and time again. I have friends that ask me, how did you find that man? What did you do? Blah, blah, blah. And yes, my husband is amazing, but I had to be prepared and ready for a man like that. So I do boundary coaching, and I sell a boundary course on a completely other platform. It's like a life coach in one platform. It's amazing. And it's everything that I did within like 2.5, 3 years that I get constantly asked about, you know. I'm going to put these on. Maybe I'll put my hat on. There you go. All right. We look established now. Okay. So I really, really, really honed in on, okay, what am I really good at? I'm really good at setting boundaries. I'm really good at giving my friends advice on dating and how to find a masculine man and stop being this anxious little girl. So, okay. All right. Anyway, I'm not going to edit this out. So now, since I've been doing social media for the past 6 years, this is something that people have asked me a lot about, especially beginners. And I feel like I can help them. I would say I'm not an expert at everything because there's so many platforms, but I do have a lot of things to share based off my experience. And I think there's more value in that than trying to show up as a coach or, you know, expert in this field, because it's based off my real and true experience. Okay, so think about what you're naturally good at. What do your friends come to you for advice on? What can you talk about for hours, okay, without getting bored? That's your starting point. Sorry, I had some food in my mouth. Here are some examples, okay? If you're good at painting, teach people about the different types of paint and what they're used for. I know it sounds silly, but literally you can make like a $27 digital product doing this. If you've mastered growing your healthy hair, share your routine and the products that you love, and then apply your affiliate link to those. If you're great at event coordination, if you're an event coordinator, teach the basics of how to plan an event from start to finish. If you are good at flipping items, this is something I used to do. Show people how to find and resell those items for profit. If you're amazing at doing your own nails, I would really like to know that. You know, I don't like to go and sit for hours getting my nails done. I think it's such a chore. Share how others can do salon quality nails. All right, if you love hiking, create a guide on the best local trails and how to prepare for them. If you are great at organizing, teach systems, how to declutter. It's simplifying the process. A lot of people hold on to so many things. If you're amazing at meal prepping, show how to plan, prep, and store meals for the week. If you know how to take great photos, teach the basics of lighting, angles, and editing. That's a big one. If you've built, a really good morning routine, break down your habits and why they work. If you're good at budgeting, if you're a travel lover, if you know how to decorate on a budget, if you're crafty, if you're good at editing videos, if you bake, okay, if you cook, If you're into mindset, if you're a mom, teach routines, hacks, or how to juggle life and business. Okay. So you see what I mean? Each one of those can become content, and that content builds trust. It also builds authority long before you ever create a product. Do you see what I mean? And the best part is when you teach consistently, your audience will literally tell you what they want next. Okay. And then you can ask ChatGPT how to go off of all of that. You can ask ChatGPT to like make chapters for you to like continue to create that content. Okay. People will start asking, and those questions, like, they're the blueprint for your first digital product. Okay. All right. Part 4. Let's do some action steps here, and we're almost done, honestly. So your homework for this week, I want you to sit down and write a list of 10 things that you're good at, things you know, and things you do naturally, and things that you could teach somebody else. I don't want you to overthink it. I just want you to write them down. Okay. Then pick one and create a piece of content about it this week. Okay. Teach something small. Even if it's to your friend, you don't have to like show up online yet or whatever. Give value. Like, even if it feels really messy, just remember, a closed mouth is like a store with no sign, and people can't buy from a store that they don't know even exists. Okay. So, because I know we need a little nudge to get those ideas flowing, I created a content creator checklist, and I created a 300 hook for the year document, along with 30 reels in 30 days. These are all freebies. They're very valuable. And I will also create a PDF with all those topics that I just talked about so that you can just download them. You can start teaching right now, even before you have a product. And you'll find it linked right here in the group or in the description below. Go download it and start brainstorming your first few pieces of content. Don't think about a product. That will come in time, okay? And you have to build authority and credibility anyway. So don't expect, if you start looking at a digital product to make first before you add any value, people have no idea who you are and what you do. You're probably not going to get any sales. All right. All right. So let's also remember this: scarcity is a lie. It is lying to you. It is your own brain playing tricks on you. It does not exist. Okay. Overwhelm is an option. Okay. And what you know right now is valuable. Okay. Let's go back up to the top where I literally said, you don't need a product. You don't need a fancy course, and you already have knowledge that people want. Okay. Next week, we are going to dive into one of my favorite topics, visibility. Okay. How to show up even when you feel small, and how to get seen even when you're new, and how to stop hiding behind perfection. It's going to be powerful, so don't miss it. Friday at 2:00. Those are always my lives. Actually, you know what? No, I'm flying out next Friday. I am going to go see my uncle. He was diagnosed with ALS earlier this year, and visiting my grandmother and my mom all the way across the country. And I'm flying with my 18-month-old. So let's maybe plan this live in 2 weeks instead. Or I can do it on the Thursday right before, which I think might be better. So don't worry. We'll make the video. We'll make it happen. And I love you, queens. Thank you for showing up today. And go write that list. Download the PDFs below. And I'll see you next week. Okay.